Welcome everyone to another episode of Mere Finance. Today we're going to talk about how this energy crisis can eventually portray the rise of nationalism. We all know that if you control the energy source, you control the production side of the economy. So countries with energy independence and with energy generation power can potentially start bringing some political nationalism into their energy policies. This could be extremely dangerous. So, who are the winners and the losers of European energy nationalism? Let's check this video. But before that, check what Donald Trump said in 2018.
Pipelines so that nations are not dependent on Russia to meet their energy needs. Germany will become totally dependent on Russian energy if it does not immediately change course. Here in the Western Hemisphere, we are committed to maintaining our independence from the encroachment of expansionist foreign powers.
The countries in the Scandinavian region are usually considered the gods of socialism, but people ignore that it's because of their energy policies and their energy-based economies. That's why they are able to have such strong economies and such strong social programs that aids with their standard of living. So it's not because they have a socialist government, it's because they have secure funding from the energy selling activities. That's why there are such strong economies. So in this case, if you check this graph, Sweden, Norway, and Czech Republic are big relative net exporters of electricity, while countries such as Lithuania, Croatia, and Hungary will suffer if there is a scarcity of electricity. You always want to be exporting electricity, exporting energy, never importing, and also have electricity as a net import really in the negative as consumption. So for example, Sweden has negative 17% of their electricity as a net import of consumption. So they produce more electricity than they consume, while Lithuania, Croatia, Luxembourg, Malta, Denmark, Finland are going to suffer a lot because almost around 20% of what they consume is from electricity. So France and Germany do not export electricity as they did in 2020 and 2021. Why? Because they changed their policies, no? The green agenda, the globalism. You can see President Macron, Emmanuel Macron, throwing jabs at Jair Bolsonaro in Brazil because, it's our Amazon. We need to protect the Amazon. Wait a second. Brazil is the total owner of the Amazon, again with Colombia, Venezuela, and Peru. But take away your green agenda from Brazil. Like, it's not yours. It's not yours. Like, it's not like the Eiffel Tower is part of Brazil, and we should consider it a global symbol. No. You have to be careful on that. That green agenda doesn't portray into the sovereignty of countries. So as I was saying, the biggest issue for France and Germany is that they are typically the two biggest nominal exporters of electricity. So a lot of small countries are relying on such exports. So French electricity, if you see here, is currently underwater. Look at this. Like, the France power generation by fuel index is negative. It's going down and down and down, which means they're actually producing less and less electricity to cover their own needs. And the lack of nuclear capacity in France, as we see in this graph, is leading all the big five economies in Europe to burn more natural gas for electricity production than in 2021. That's what happens when you move away from sources like nuclear and you go into what they actually hate, which is gas, right? So it's funny because the transition was supposed to be from gas into green energies, and because green energies were not sustainable, actually our transition is going more dependent in gas. So gas consumption for electricity production is up more than 10% in comparison to 2021. Not good given the lack of gas, And we know who has gas, right? Russia. So not good at all. And also, look at this. Gas flows are still running via Ukraine, but it is probably only a matter of time. Just because of the war, right? Because of the sanctions, because of the geopolitical risks, before they are fully closed, as well, leaving the Turk Stream as the only open pipeline from Russia to Europe. Now imagine to the cost of gas, and then when the winter comes, who is going to be bending their knees? The Eastern Europeans are going to have a good time, but the Western Europeans, those that depend extremely on energy imports, are going to be suffering and suffering. As you can see just in UK, how businesses are going down. So this is very important, not from the energetic point of view. We have talked a lot about that, but from the political point of view. Because now that we have a right-wing prime minister in Italy, which is more into nationalist concerns, we can see a wave in Europe of more and more right-wing politicians that want to have protection of their sovereignty and their energy independence. And due to this, it gives more power to the countries like Russia, or to the countries that export energy, but also brings tremendous amount of political turmoil when nationalism through energy becomes again the norm. So what became like a joke of turning back into green energy could end up being the complete disintegration of the European Union and the end of globalism, because each country, through nationalism ideology, is going to start isolating themselves more, more and more. And I don't criticize them. I think that's what every country should do. But could potentially bring a lot of political turmoil. So stay tuned for the next episode of Mere Finance. Thank you very much. And don't forget to subscribe.